Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, those that are new, and those that have already subscribed, thank you so much, welcome back. This is take two because the first time around, my cats decided to have a party in my living room. It's never boring here, that's for sure. Okay, so what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about the human evolution. Sorry, I keep looking over there to make sure that they're not acting up again. So I want to talk about the human evolution, the evolutionary process that we are currently going through. And this isn't so much of the physical evolutionary process. This what we are going through is more internal. It's more of a conscience evolutionary process. We are moving forward from I'm going to just send that situation love. Okay. We are moving from what we know with the five senses, okay? This tangible, physical reality to a much higher dimension. I guess some can say bringing heaven onto earth, or even going home, having that feeling of belonging, knowing yourself on a non-physical level. Because within this body, within this form, is our essence, our true essence. And that, which we can also call the soul, is also a non-physical entity. That's who we are. We came here to have that realization, to bring that forward. And that is what this process is all about. All of the healing, releasing, and the transformation that we are going through is to bring us to that point, to align your heart and soul, your heart, which encompasses your soul, with the physical mind. The mind, the logical mind that we have been ruled by for centuries. Okay? Now we're going beyond that. And so what does that mean? So before I even get into that, I want to back it up a little bit to what our true essence is. Our soul. Our soul comes from a higher dimension. Okay? And so what we came here to do as these higher dimensional beings is to bring that higher level wisdom and knowledge into the human experience, to help humanity and to help Gaia ascend to a higher dimension. And this happens through the consciousness. This is all about an internal evolution, okay? And so as higher dimensional beings, having this human experience also means the best way I can describe it is limiting the magnificence of the essence of the soul into this human experience. This human experience at the moment is at a third density level, fourth maybe. Slowly we're going up to the fifth. And so this is why some of us have a hard time adjusting to this world. This is why some of us go through mental illness, depression, bipolar disorder, PTSD even, when it comes to adjusting into this world, because we are having to limit what we know as higher dimensional beings in order for us to have this physical experience. We are used to going beyond the five senses. We are used to expressing our soul to the fullest as higher dimensional beings. And so this ascension process, or the human evolution, what it means to align your mind and your heart is basically allowing your mind to connect with your soul. Clearing your karma helps you achieve that. And the reason why the soul, this higher dimensional soul, chooses to incarnate into this level is to heal the karma. Okay, and I'm going to talk about karma a little bit. The way that we heal our karma and release it. It is important. Now, karma has cycles. We go through many cycles. There is large cycles that can last up to anywhere from 7 to 15 years. And then there are many cycles within those cycles, if that makes sense. And so before it gets even complicated, how do we heal and release our cycles, or our karmic cycles? Is by recognizing your patterns. And the only way you can recognize your patterns and heal and release it is by surrendering. Surrendering to what is. And I'm going to explain that because I have heard that term over and over before. It took a while for me to understand it. And I do want to mention these books, actually. These books have been, especially this one. I've talked about this before. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He explains in this book what surrendering to what is, what that truly means. And so what that means, it's not about surrendering to negative behavior, accepting it as if it's okay. It's not about accepting defeat. Surrendering means it's more internally accepting that situation for exactly what it is. I'm going to go further into that. It does not mean, okay, accepting a situation for what it is internally means you're accepting what has taken place, and you do that in the present moment. Now, what we tend to do as humans, all of us have done this, including myself, in the process of surrendering or trying to surrender, this is why we resist it, is we go into the past. We go into our mind takes us back to the past so we can relive that moment, that situation over and over and over. And that's where the resistance comes, because reliving that moment in that situation means experiencing those emotions over and over again. And in doing so, it's extremely hard to forgive. It's extremely hard to make a clear and concise decision on the next course of action because we are reliving that moment in the past. Bringing that situation to the present means letting go of those, not allowing your mind to give you a blow-by-blow of what happened. We already know what happened. What we now need to do is clearly decide a course of action to end that cycle. So we're not reliving the same cycle over and over. We're not repeating. This is why we have patterns, because we're not able to bring the situation forward to the present. And bringing this situation to the present allows you to surrender to what is. And once you do that, you are now thinking clearly. You're not reliving the moment. You're allowing yourself to see the situation for exactly what it is. You're not in your emotions. And by that, I mean, you're not deciding from an emotional state, okay? It's okay to experience these emotions because they will arise. It's never okay to suppress it. What is being suggested is when you have these emotions arise, I'm going to tail back to that. In this book, it recommends that you experience it as an observer. And what does that mean? Feeling that emotion on an energetic level, okay, without taking action. And I actually had a chance to experience that. It's electric. Just allowing my body, tuning into my body as I am feeling these emotions. It could be a sharp pain, it could be tingling. There's many ways that you can feel these emotions. And so when you are experiencing it in that way, you're allowing this emotion to pass through without judgment. And you're releasing it. And there's many ways to release it without creating more karma for yourself, okay? We are creative beings. So you can release these emotions creatively through writing, through painting, through music, through art, through even going to nature, through exercise. Just channel this energy in the best creative way possible. This is how you release your karma even, okay, without creating more for yourself. Okay, so let me get back to, what were we, yes, so releasing the karma and staying present, right? And so you surrender to the situation for what it is, without judgment, without having to relive those emotions and what happened. And that allows you to clearly decide externally how to respond, how to proceed. Okay? It does not mean surrendering, I'll repeat, does not mean accepting deceptive behavior, saying that it's okay. That's not what it means. It means you have now seen the situation for what it is, and you've done it in a present state of mind, state of being, and by staying present allows your heart and your soul to respond, not just from the logical mind, but you have connected the logical mind to the heart. And in your presence, those negative emotions of fear, hurt, pain, resentment do not exist. Bringing presence means bringing your essence forward. And so when you respond, it will come from your heart. It will come from a very loving and positive place. That is the key to releasing your karma, releasing your patterns, understanding your essence even. And doing this without creating any more karma for yourself. And so by doing this, we are able to start a new cycle. And with each new cycle that we begin, we get closer and closer to coming into alignment with our mind, our body, and our soul. And in this alignment is when we experience the higher dimensions. Okay? I want to talk about this book that I am currently reading. This is called The Seed of the Soul, and it is by Gary Zukav. Now, I'm only maybe 3 or 4 chapters in with this book, and it is similar to The Power of Now, as far as I have seen. But this is more, for those that find The Power of Now a bit too complex, I think you will connect with this one better. This also talks about our evolutionary process. I have especially enjoyed the chapter about karma. This talks about karma. I haven't gone too far into this one, so it's really insightful and interesting. I fully enjoyed it. Now, the power of now, there. I had to read this twice, and the second time around, I think I was in. I want to say a better position to understand it. And I have fully enjoyed the entire book, but especially this book talks about relationships, how to achieve true love in your relationship, your romantic relationship. Very, very insightful. I do recommend this book as well. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I think I talked about everything that I wanted to say. Yeah. So anyway, I hope this information helps you guys. It certainly has brought light, much light, to a lot of what I've been questioning. And yeah, that's the last thing I'll mention before I go, is how we are, what I realized, how we are connected to the planets. You know, I have had interest in astrology, and this book, was it this book? Yeah, this book lightly mentions that. You know, how we are all connected. On a physical level, we know that we are made of stardust, right? The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, all comes from the stars. But it also talks about personalities on a spiritual level, how we are connected to these planets. And astrology allows you to learn that, to explore that. It is really, really interesting. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much, everyone. So much love to all of you. See you on the next one. Thank you.